Welcome to Worth It or Worthless, a show where every couple weeks we pull a game from my own personal collection of retro games, take off our nostalgia-tinted glasses to decide, is the game good by today's standards and is it worth the price of admission? We talk about what the game does well, what the game doesn't do so well, and the things that are just plain weird. I'm your host Dan, joined as always by my friend Jordan. Jordan, what did we get into today?
Today we played Cruis'n USA for the Nintendo 64. Cruis'n USA is the story of one car's dream to race across the entire United States. And by the entire United States, we mean mostly just California. Yeah, guys, there are 14 tracks in this game, and 5 of them are in California.
You did the math.
I mean, that wasn't math. Those were just numbers. Those are just facts.
Well, no.
Math facts.
That's you said 5 of 14. You had to have counted the number of California tracks.
I did count the number. Yeah, so it's here, I'll do some math for you. It's slightly over a third of the tracks are in California, but you're Cruis'n USA.
Yeah, you cruise through California, and then you go through
Arizona,
Death Valley, Iowa, or
Idaho. You jump from Arizona to Iowa, I think,
and then over to like Indiana and Chicago, then Indiana.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're on the East Coast.
And yeah, Washington D.C., the East Coast. You can see the Great Lakes from there.
No, none of that. Anyway, Cruis'n USA, if you aren't aware, is a racing game for the N64, and it was originally an arcade game, and then it became an N64 game, and I'm sure you can just imagine it in your brain how good it must look.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine somebody not knowing what Cruis'n USA, Jordan, is. Because, jumping ahead on the fun facts.
Oh, I love fun facts.
Cruis'n USA was the highest grossing dedicated arcade cabinet in the U.S. in 1995.
Really?
Really.
That's surprising to me.
It's not to me.
I mean, I came in here and I told you, I don't think I've ever seen a Cruis'n USA in an arcade, and then you immediately reminded me of one that I have not only seen, but I have played.
Sure did.
At a local Red Robin, that no longer has an arcade, unfortunately.
It might.
It might just be behind closed doors. We're kind of tempted to go to this Red Robin and ask them, like, hey, behind those doors, are there like, it was like a Cruis'n USA machine, a claw machine, like a big buck hunter, and maybe like one other thing. Yeah. And we're like, are those still back there? And if so, do you need somebody to help you get rid of them? And by get rid of them, I mean, do you need them to go into our basement? Yeah. And by our basement, I mean Dan, because I don't have a basement.
Yeah. You can put it in you have a storage shed garage thing.
I do have a shed. And I have what's known as a Michigan basement, which is basically just a hole in the ground under your house that you can crawl into.
Crawl space.
Not a crawl space, because you can stand in part of it. That's what makes it a Michigan basement. I don't know, man. Okay. Anyway, I'm not putting an arcade machine down there. But Red Robin used to have a Cruis'n USA, and apparently it was the 1995 highest grossing arcade machine. So people know about this game. I owned it for N64 when I was a kid.
Yeah, last time you said that you had it as a kid. I think it was on the Patreon episode where we built our dream arcade, and you were like, "This was the game that we played the least," or something like that.
Yeah, so I was thinking, for some reason, we were never a big racing game family, but on the N64, we had Mario Kart, Cruis'n USA, Wave Race. Those are the ones I can think off the top of my head.
Extreme G. San Francisco Rush.
No, we didn't have. Oh, Beetle Racing, like Beetle, Volkswagen Racing. The N64 version of Road Rage.
Yeah. So Road Rash 64.
Road Rash, yeah. So we had a lot of racing games for some reason. I don't know what was up with the N64 and racing games.
I feel like racing games is a big genre.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a big moneymaker, it seems like.
I feel like it's one of those things where you hear that like Gran Turismo is like one of the biggest selling franchises out there, and I'm like, I don't really know anybody who buys Gran Turismo games, so I don't know how this thing is so huge.
I think it's kind of an international thing too, because like FIFA is always one of the biggest selling games in the world, but I don't know anybody who owns a FIFA game.
I like FIFA. I enjoy FIFA.
I do know a person who owns a FIFA game.
Well, I own old FIFA games. I don't think I've bought one since like 2015 because I just don't spend as much time playing FIFA every year as to justify the $60 purchase of FIFA.
We had, my family was a big soccer family. 3 of my brothers played soccer in college, and I did not. I got cut sophomore year of high school. Yeah. But we had FIFA 95 for N64. I think that was the last time I played a soccer game.
FIFA 95 for N64.
I think so.
The N64 came out in 1996.
Bro, I don't even know. Let's see. Let's Google it. What FIFA did I have? I I don't know. FIFA
Don't
something.
come in here lying, Jordan.
FIFA something for N64. It just sounded right. 1995 always just sounds so right to me.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe FIFA 99. There was a FIFA 98.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. It was
Probably.
FIFA on the N64.
Jordan, let's get into the fun facts.
I would love to.
We've been veering off the road here.
Hey, that's apropos for this episode.
It definitely is. This game, the arcade version developed by Midway, the N64 version developed by Williams Entertainment.
Which is interesting because Williams and Midway were kind of like arcade rivals, so it's interesting to see them working on each other's games.
Well, I think so. The what am I trying to say? I have it that it was published by Midway in the arcade, and I think Nintendo as far as like the home console version, and then Nintendo partnered with Midway's parent company so they could have a racing game that would compete with Ridge Racer and Daytona, and I think the parent company was actually Williams.
Oh, I always assumed that Midway and Williams were like rivals, but maybe they just own each other. Maybe it's just like everything in the United States, and like you realize everything's just owned by General Electric if you go high enough.
Or Microsoft now.
Microsoft, yeah.
Yeah, Microsoft, who's buying Activision for $75 billion. This game came out in the arcade in November of 1994 worldwide, and the home ports of it came out December of 96 in North America and January of 98 in Europe.
As you were saying all of those years, it clicked in my head, like I think maybe it was FIFA 97.
Probably. That sounds about right.
I don't even know if that existed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Somebody's screaming at me. That didn't exist.
Nobody cares. Jordan, last fun fact that I haven't mentioned yet. Several elements of the game were censored, like the ability to run over animals.
That is true. And there we go. Scratch off one of our trivia questions.
One of your trivia
questions.
Fine.
Hey, Dan, I have a fun fact that I saw, and I just wrote it down because I didn't know if you would have also seen it. But this is a fun fact, okay?
Okay.
Did you know that this game was made by Eugene Jarvis?
I've heard that.
Who doesn't just have a cool name, but he also designed classic games like Defender and Robotron?
I did read that.
The guy who made Defender and Robotron, which are like all-time arcade classic vector games, all of a sudden, like, you know, he gets a decade or two down the line and is making Cruis'n USA. That's kind of weird.
Did he make the arcade version or just the...
Like the arcade version, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's I'll allow it.
Yeah, I mean, he went from like, you know, you have a couple hits. I don't know when Defender came out. Well, like
Defender, it was Midway.
I know what I'm saying.
NHL.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Defender, well, like the arcade game was huge. It was a huge game. And then it was 1981. Yeah. And then you go 15 years-ish into the future, and dude gets another hit with a completely different kind of game.
Yeah, but did you look at like his resume in between that time?
I'm sure he was doing other stuff.
Probably, yeah. I can't imagine like I can't imagine it took him 15 years to do something else significant in the gaming space.
No, I mean, with a name like Eugene Jarvis, I just assume, the dude must have been just a programming whiz. I'm thinking of like Jarvis from Iron Man.
Oh, that's why you're
must
impressed.
Be the same guy.
That's why you're impressed.
Like
with him.
He's not just a human; he's also a computer.
Yeah. Well, I think Jarvis from Iron Man is actually named after Eugene Jarvis.
I don't think so because
here we go.
I own some really old Iron Man comic books, and Jarvis was in like the super old ones, like pre-70s, and he was also a butler. He wasn't a computer at all in the comics.
So he was like Alfred. So they stole him from Batman.
He was straight up Alfred, yeah.
Sounds like Marvel to steal something from.
Yeah, anyway, Eugene Jarvis. That was my fun fact.
That's fun.
Yeah, we actually have one more fun fact. You may know, if you've listened to the show for a long time, we like to stack all of our announcement kind of stuff at the end because we don't want to really, we don't want to waste your time at the beginning of the episode with a bunch of announcements. But we're going to do something new, at least for this episode and maybe moving forward as well. Just
let us know if you hate it.
Yeah, let us know if you hate it. That's fine. It's a worth it or worthless fun fact of the episode. So just before we jump into the meat of the episode, just a little fun fact about the podcast. And this week's episode, with this week's fun fact, I don't even know what I'm saying. This episode's fun fact, there you go, is that we have a Patreon now.
Yeah.
And this is actually a really good fun fact for this episode because this game was chosen by our Patreon supporters.
Yep.
That's one of the perks you get as a Patreon supporter is to pick just one of the episodes each month. We put up a little poll with some options. You guys get to vote on it. And then we have to play Cruis'n USA or whatever you choose.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a dud, and we have to roll with it either way because you have the power. So if you're interested in checking us out on Patreon, you can find the link in the show notes. You can also look us up at
worthitoworthless.com/Patreon. Or
yes.
Patreon.com/worthitoworthless.
There you go.
It's like a mirror.
Yeah, you've got options. And you can jump on there. You can get episodes early. You can get a little bit of a merch discount. You can help us pick episodes. There's also bonus content like our other podcast that comes out once a month. It's Super Worth It or Worthless Deluxe, a retro gaming podcast. You
still missed it.
I
still
probably
can't get
did.
it.
I won't ever get it right. But there you go. This episode's fun fact is Patreon. Check it out.
Jordan is at the risk of quitting next month, which is going to be Super Mario Brothers.
Why am I at the risk of quitting?
If Patreon doesn't pick the one that he wants,
he's
gonna ride
I
it.
forgot I made a threat. Dan, the list of games that Patreon can choose from, I will be very disappointed if it goes the way that I don't want it to go.
There's some winners. But anyways, Jordan, are you ready to move on to what the game does well?
Let's do it. All right.
Jordan, the first thing that I have that the game does well is it is just like a simple arcade racing game. As I was sitting down to play this game, I was like, now, I don't hate racing games. I actually have kind of a history with playing like Need for Speed and Midnight Club, and like, it's not out of my wheelhouse to enjoy racing games.
All right.
And so when I sat down a little bit before you came over to play some of the single player mode, I was like, oh yeah, this is just like that straight up simple arcade racing where it's, in Gran Turismo, you can kind of tune your car, or it's got realistic physics. It's none of that. It's just like the super weird tight handling and just like hit the checkpoints and get to the finish line.
Yes, this is such a kind of bare bones arcade experience. It doesn't even give you like the stats on the individual cars. You got you got to go online and try to look up like which car is the fastest, which one has the best acceleration, which one has the best handling. Like you get 4 different cars to choose from.
Turns
right
out the best one is just whatever Jordan picks.
That's true. So I picked one car, Dan picked a different car. We got a few races in and I kept winning. He said, your car is just so much faster than mine. So then I said, well, give me your controller.
And it was, because like even on a straightaway when we're going for like 10 seconds, all of a sudden Jordan's car is like shooting past mine, even though I supposedly have the highest top speed in the game.
So we switched controllers and I played the rest of the game with his car and I still beat him almost every single race. So it was not the car. It was the player.
Jordan won at least 6 out of like 14 races.
I told Dan that Cruis'n USA is kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! In Yu-Gi-Oh! It's all about the heart of the cards, and in Cruis'n USA, it's all about the heart of the car. You just gotta really connect with it. It wants to know that you as a driver are worthy of it, and so that's why I beat you. So
okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I do agree with you though. At first I was kind of like, man, this game's pretty simple, but then I also found myself kind of appreciating the simpleness of it. I didn't have to remember a whole bunch of stuff. There wasn't a bunch of systems to master. Really, there's like one button.
Yeah.
You are accelerating and steering, and you don't really have to worry about anything else. So I kind of do appreciate that. And it did provide us, this is my first point, it did provide us with like an hour of good, fun competition.
Yeah, I mean, there is a brake button as well.
There is, but
why would you ever use it?
Yeah, it's not just, like in some racing games where the brake button is useful for drifting around corners. This one just will make you stop.
Yeah.
If you can't drift with it, I did not master it after many attempts.
So you just had like an hour of fun. Like it was a solid hour. Like
we had some good. It definitely helped that I was winning almost every race. That made me feel pretty good about the situation. I'm not sure I would have had fun if I was losing for an hour straight.
Yeah. I don't know what it would have been like to lose for an hour straight.
Yeah. You got a couple dubs in there.
Dominating a couple, like 12 of 14.
So this is the fun thing. We beat the whole game, and we got the upgrade for one of our cars. And so we went back to multiplayer, and I let Dan use the new upgraded fastest car.
And it wasn't faster.
And I still beat him.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I was thinking about this as we were playing. Like, I don't think in multiplayer, I wonder if there is a component in multiplayer where the stats get all leveled on the cars.
I know, because they like playing the two cars. They definitely felt different. Like the second car handled very different.
Yeah.
One of them had faster acceleration. One of them seemed to have higher top end speed. So they definitely have some individual characteristics.
Yeah, but that faster car didn't necessarily feel faster. It might have been because we bumped the difficulty after we completed the game. So I don't know if there was some component to the computers being faster, but it didn't feel like, oh man, this car's way better than the one that I was playing 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I didn't get to use it. I was just using a plain Jane default car, but it's fine. I still was able to win even with that plain Jane default car. You're great.
And speaking of the faster cars, Jordan, that's one of the things that I think the game does well is unlocking faster cars.
Yes, I think that is definitely one of the most appealing components of this game. You start with 4 cars, which isn't saying a lot because I only had 2 things on my list, but this was one of them. You start with 4 cars, and as you beat the game with each car, you get to upgrade it. If you beat it on a higher difficulty, you can upgrade again. There's also some cool like secret unlockables. You can drive a bus, you can drive a police car, there's a Jeep, and you can upgrade those as well. I saw that the police car starts with a blue stripe, and then when you upgrade it, Dan, it gets a green stripe.
No.
You're a sheriff all of a sudden.
Are you serious?
So yeah, I think that is definitely an incentive to keep you wanting to come back and beat it. Now, when I was a kid,
Is it?
when I was a kid, I realized today as we beat this game, I never beat this game as a kid.
Yeah.
I remember always getting stuck on like the redwood level, which is funny because it's like the 3rd level in the game.
Yeah.
And it's brutal. So
it could be the worst track in a racing game.
No.
In history.
The Chicago level. It's like you're in a tunnel, which is already difficult. There's a few tunnels in this game. And then they decide, what if we just put like posts in the middle of the tunnel for you to run into? And then you finally get out of the tunnel, and it's like, well, here's a 4-lane road, but between every lane, posts. We're going to put posts. It's like, what is the most dangerous road we could build? And then put it into a game with kind of notoriously sloppy handling and just let people crash constantly.
Yeah, I don't know. Jordan, I got one last point.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It has multiplayer.
It does have multiplayer, which is great. I mean, we've played some games that don't have multiplayer, so you got to give it that benefit.
Yeah.
It was a lot more fun playing it with somebody than just playing it by myself. I feel like it'd be kind of frustrating to play it by myself. Although just like trying to unlock stuff, I don't know why, that just seems like appealing to me to try.
Yeah.
It's not short though. Like you're spending an hour and 15 minutes to get through and unlock one new car. So
yeah, I don't know if the single player mode limits your continues, but you can like every time. So you have to come in first to advance the Cruis'n USA mode or whatever. One or the first or second player has to come in first.
Yeah,
to
it's kind of like
progress.
Super Mario Kart.
Kind of, but
first
it gave
place,
us unlimited
not just
continues.
Like top 3. You got to get first place.
Yeah, it gave us unlimited continues. So maybe that's a thing in single player. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that was nice. That was definitely a beneficial thing to have.
Deal with it, but yeah, Jordan, that's all I have.
I know it feels bad to say. I don't really have a whole lot. I mean, I had a decently good time with it. I just cannot think of anything that it really does well.
Yeah, I played. This feels like one of the quintessential arcade games from my childhood, and I always remember enjoying Cruis'n USA at the arcade or whatever as a kid. But I did not get that same sense of wonder and fun today.
Yeah, and I think if you continue to listen to the next part of this episode, you'll kind of see very obviously why we have so little to say in this what it does well section.
All right, let's move on to what the game doesn't do so well.
All right, Dan, the very first thing for me is something that typically comes up when we cover N64 games, and I think that it might be the most true in this game of any N64 game, is that it is hard on the eyes. And this one actually manages to be hard on the eyes in several different ways, which is impressive. I mean, they actually had to go out of their way to make this painful to watch in multiple ways. The first way is that there's just a terrible viewing angle. So you only have either first person view, which is completely worthless, or third person view, but it's like a little bit too close to your car. So you're constantly not able to see the turns that are coming up, and you need to be able to see them because the tracks move fast, and you're constantly making like very quick twitch turns, and you got to like avoid stuff that's coming over the hill, and you can't really see what's coming over the hill, and that's pretty brutal.
I'm pretty sure there was a third camera angle in single player, but I didn't go back and triple check. But
we did play a couple races of Cruis'n World, and they fixed this problem. You have even your default third-person view is a better angle. It's a little bit higher up, so you can see more of the track. But if you want even more zoomed out, you can hit the right C button, and it zooms out even further, which I appreciated. I wish that they had that in Cruis'n USA, but it's nice to see that they learned from their mistakes and fixed it in Cruis'n World.
Yeah, you said it's hard on the eyes. I wrote, my eyes want to puke.
Yeah. Yeah, it's brutal. You have a really short draw distance in multiplayer, so you only ever see like 10 yards ahead of you, which is kind of hard when you're going like 150 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And you can only see like literally 10 to 15 yards in front of you, so you're constantly like, you can't blink, because if you blink, you die. So that hurts. That's no good.
Yeah. But part of it too, that's kind of like, it hurts your eyes. And there's a couple spots in this game, in multiplayer specifically, I think it only happened, was when the game gets very busy. Like when you're in like Beverly Hills and you're surrounded by like
multicolored
buildings
condominiums
on the side.
Yeah.
The frame rate starts to like make your eyes feel like you're blacking out.
Yes, I don't like know enough about video games to like be able to tell when the frame rate drops. But you kept saying that, and I just knew that it hurt my eyes, but I didn't know why it was hurting my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, the game doesn't necessarily run at a great frame rate, but when it dips down to probably under 20 frames a second, when it's like starting to really slow down, you're going, ugh. And then, I mean, it's an N64 game, so it doesn't look great to begin with nowadays.
No, but I mean, you think of it, you compare it to something like Mario Kart 64, which gave you a lot longer view of the track, or Wave Race, where you're kind of like out in the water, and so everything's a little bit more spaced out. This game just doesn't do it any favors by making you move so fast and then have everything come at you in such a short draw distance that you're just like constantly trying to like react, and you can't blink, and you just have so much coming at you. So they definitely didn't do themselves any favors.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, we played a little bit of Cruis'n World just to have a little bit more context for Cruis'n USA, and it was like we played 2 races of Cruis'n World, and it was like, this game feels like I have way more space to breathe. It feels like I'm not like struggling to stay on the track at all times. Yeah. It feels like we played an expert track on Cruis'n World, and it wasn't like super easy, but I didn't have nearly the difficulty with that game. I was like, I
think an expert map on Cruis'n World felt like an easy map on Cruis'n USA.
Yeah. Which is just, I don't know. It's like, oh, they fixed it. They fixed it.
I mean, it's nice to see they learned their lesson, and they definitely made some big improvements. It seemed like from our small little experience with Cruis'n World that it was better in pretty much every way.
I wanted to play more Cruis'n World.
Well, there you go. Maybe someday we'll cover Cruis'n World on the podcast.
Let us know if you need more cruising in your life.
Yeah.
Cruis'n Exotica, that's a game that you drive to Mars, apparently.
Yeah, and Cruis'n Blast, which just came out on all the modern consoles.
Yeah, and then there was a Fast and Furious game in the arcades that got ported to Wii as a cruising game.
Really?
I think it was just called Cruis'n. Yeah, they stripped out the Fast and Furious branding and just made it a cruising game.
I mean, what is Fast and Furious without Vin Diesel?
That's one of life's great questions.
Yeah.
Truly, family, I think is what they call it.
Yeah. I think the next thing that stands out to me as what this game does not do well would be the super basic controls. Yeah. On one hand, it's nice that you only have to worry about like accelerating. On the other hand, it's pretty annoying that the acceleration button is the Z trigger.
Yeah.
That just felt awkward the whole time. And also the fact that you don't your buttons are the Z trigger, which makes you go. You have the R button, which makes you stop. I don't know why you'd ever want to use that. The button that you think would make you go changes your view. The A button will switch you into first-person view. And the B button, which would normally be the brake or reverse button in a racing game, it changes the song.
Yeah. Well, why not?
Yeah, you change the song.
They fixed it in Cruis'n World, though. A makes you go in Cruis'n World.
It does, yeah. So, all the controls in Cruis'n World seem much better.
In Cruis'n USA, you can use the D-pad to, direct yourself. Which would be,
how would you use the
with
D-pad?
with your ring finger or your pinky, But in Cruis'n World, I couldn't use the D-pad to control my car. So you could.
You'd have to hold.
What are you guys doing?
You'd have to shift your hands. Use your right hand to do the trigger and your left hand to do the D-pad.
It's like the Xbox Pro controller or something. They got the triggers on the thing now, in the back of the thing. You got extra buttons on controllers.
What do you call the little geodesic?
Geodesic.
It's like a little concave button that's on like the fancy Pro controllers, and it's like it looks like a.
Talking about that, the D-pad on the Pro
is that a D-pad?
I think it's supposed to be, but I don't know. I've never actually held a Pro controller, so I can't speak to whether or not it's good. I just don't like the way that it looks. It doesn't look like it would be good, but
yeah.
I mean, I think that controller is probably like $150. So I would imagine they probably engineered it with ergonomics and comfort in mind.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it can't be as ergonomic as an N64 controller.
No,
but
probably
they try
not.
Their best.
Not many are.
Going along with the super basic controls, I feel like this game would definitely have benefited from items. Would have been nice. Maybe not like Super Mario level items, but even just like basic stuff like boost pads or like a pickup that makes you go faster. Like even you think about in like Wave Race, there's like the little like ramps and stuff. You do a trick off of it. Like there's just, or you go through the ring and it makes you go faster. Like there's nothing. There's literally nothing to interact with that like will give you a boost. You don't have any drifting. Even just putting drifting in this game to give you a little boost around corners. Any like one thing. Give me one little extra thing to help me give like my skill an advantage over the computer or my opponent. It's just all you do in this game is dodge and try to take corners without going off the track.
Yeah. Well, here's a slight rebuttal to that. The races are generally under like 2 minutes long, which is something that I meant to write down as kind of what the game does well. It kind of goes with the simple arcade gameplays. It's just like a minute and 44 seconds is like the average time that we had for like every race.
That's not any shorter than like a Diddy Kong Racing level, though. Those are super
but when
short.
you're going 150 miles an hour the whole time and the tracks are making you turn constantly, it's like you just don't really have the space. I could see it in like Cruis'n World where you had a lot more room to breathe, where you don't feel like you're turning all the time or you're turning every like 4 seconds.
On the straightaway, give me like a boost pad or throw some oil slicks that make you spin out or something. Give me something.
Sure, but it's not like that. It's a port of the arcade game, and you don't.
I know.
Have any of that stuff in the arcade
it's
game.
still a criticism of the game.
I mean, I just don't. I think you're just wrong.
Okay.
I just like my straight up Cruis'n USA. Give me 4 cars. Give me races that last a minute and 12 seconds. Give me trees that I'm hitting constantly.
Even in like every racing
cones.
game. Every arcade racing game, you get like the turbo button. I recently played Cruis'n Blast in the arcade, and that has a turbo button. You get like 3 turbos.
Was it?
Yeah.
What was it?
Turbo, yeah, there's a turbo.
No.
Or it's the blast button, sorry.
Was it a blast?
It's the blast button. That game was pretty fun. I don't know if I'd want to drop $20 on it.
They just lowered the price.
I know. I still don't know if I'd want to drop
officially.
$20. Like, if it hits 10, I could maybe see it. But like the fact that you can race as a T-Rex, I mean, I'm pretty much in at that point. So...
I don't know if I'll pick that one up, even if they put it on sale. Maybe this did touch a part of my nostalgic soul that I haven't sort of spent much time with in the last like decade. So,
all right, I think I have one that you can agree with.
Okay,
the music is so bad, like quite possibly the worst soundtrack in any video game that we've played.
No, but it's so bad it's good though.
It's like they were on a crunch. And they like took somebody who had never written a song before, never even seen MIDI before, and they were like, "Here, good luck." And like there's a song in this game where like the entire song is he knows. The song is just like a woman moaning. It's very awkward. It's not okay. Thankfully, they give you the button that lets you just change the song. And so I frequently was just changing the song. You're not changing it to anything better. You're just changing it to something different. And different can be better.
This is the epitome of like MIDI guitar, like right before, because even Cruis'n World, like the soundtrack's not great, but it was far and away better.
Yeah.
The soundtrack of this game. But it was like something that was so bad that it was endearing to me listening to the music in this one. So
no, I can't agree with that.
I was laughing at it.
Yeah, definitely laughing at it.
I got something that you probably don't agree with, but you think the game's boring, whatever. Traffic.
What about
traffic?
What about it?
The traffic is what the game doesn't do well. Part of the reason why this was a miserable experience was traffic.
Well, thankfully you have the option to turn traffic off, so that's on you. Although I did feel like when we played without traffic on, it was not as fun. Like there's already so little variables in each level. Like I said, you don't have jumps, you don't have speed boosts, you don't have.
You got jumps? What are you talking about?
Okay, like once every
driving
5
down
levels,
the highway, there's just a jump in the middle of the road.
Yeah. Like in the first level, there's a jump, and then you never get one again. So there's already such little variation going on. All you're doing is like quickly turning around corners, and then if you turn off traffic, you don't even get that little bit of extra like randomness that's going to come in. So
it's not even fun randomness. I
didn't love not having, like, of course I was frustrated when a semi truck would veer out of its lane and hunt me down, but also like it's fine, it's fun, it's part of the wackiness of an arcade experience. I'm not like trying to do a racing sim.
Yeah I don't know, the traffic just was one of those things where I didn't, and like, it was so frequent that it made the game annoying.
Yeah, it would be nice if that was like, if instead of just on and off, if you could change like the amount of traffic.
Yeah,
like heavy, medium, light.
Like I think in Cruis'n World there was like a bit of traffic, and I was like, this feels a little better. This feels like I can breathe.
Yeah, quite literally every single thing about Cruis'n World felt better than Cruis'n USA.
Quite literally. But yeah, other than that, Jordan, just this game was a launch title for N64.
Okay, was it? That, yeah, that kind of explains things a little bit.
Yep, it sure felt like it.
Like you think there's so many racing. We didn't even mention Diddy Kong Racing back when I was going through the list. Like there's so many racing games, and pretty much every one of them I would rather play.
Not Diddy Kong Racing.
I didn't love Diddy Kong Racing, but I feel like, no, I don't know. I might have enjoyed this one more than Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, it's better than Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, which is kind of insane to say. Like people, again, if you feel like you liked Diddy Kong Racing, maybe go back and listen to our episode about it, or just like play it. It's one of those games that, like, for some reason, a lot of us have nostalgia for, and then you play it and you're like, wait a minute, this is rough.
This isn't Mario Kart.
Yeah, I mean, there's some cool stuff. I mean, we talked about it ad nauseum in that episode, but there's some cool stuff in there, and some stuff that was like more promising than like actually good.
Good ideas, you know.
Yeah. I love that overworld. We need an overworld. We need a better overworld than Cruis'n USA. That was a real problem.
So this isn't Forza. Get that out of here.
All right.
I don't even know if Forza has an overworld.
I've never played it. I got one more, Dan. All
right, hit me with it.
The collision detection.
Oh my
It's so wonky.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I remembered from being a kid. I remember just like driving through the Beverly Hills level and hitting a palm tree and just stopping dead in my tracks. I mean, like, what the heck? Because, okay, that normally makes sense. If you hit a tree with a car, what the heck?
Yes.
But this level comes immediately after the Redwood Forest level, where for some reason your car has no problem flattening, not just knocking over, completely flattening a sequoia, but it cannot knock over a palm tree, which is notoriously shallow rooted and easy to knock over.
Okay, so to be fair, the sequoias were flat to begin with.
Okay,
whereas the palm trees were not.
Yeah, I don't know.
The palm trees were 3D models. The sequoias were.
That's probably why. If it's a 3D model, the collision will be detected. If it's a 2D model, you just flatten it.
A 2D model. Yep.
Yeah, but it's 2D. It needs some Beano. I that was frustrating to me, especially because you're like doing these quick turns and you're gonna go off the road.
You turn too much in this game.
It's really a turning simulator 1995. Yeah.
With this like horrible draw distance, you can't see where you're going. Sometimes you're going up a hill. You can't see over your car sometimes, and you're running into oncoming traffic, which is just a great
So you try to swerve, and all of a sudden, boom, you hit a palm tree, you're stopped. You stop dead.
Yeah.
Or even worse, you bounce backwards.
The physics are so wonky in this game.
It is very funny.
Yes.
We found ourselves laughing and screaming a lot, which is a sign of a good game. Like, it's worth playing if you have it and you don't have to spend any money on it. Like, you just have a copy of it laying around. Like, it's worth experiencing. Just don't expect it to be like, man, I loved this. This was such a fun experience.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's like one to like make your kids play. So it's like this, it's like the whole, like, it's the video game equivalent of walking up hills both ways in the snow.
I wouldn't want to force my son to play this because I wouldn't want to turn him off on retro games.
No, you wait till he's already into retro games.
Oh, okay.
And then you'd be like, okay, Mario Kart, wait till you experience this. Anyway, there you go. Collision detection. That was my last thing for what it does not do so well.
Yeah, well, it sure did a great job of collision detection with my brain.
Yeah, we mention this often with the N64 games, but like my eyes hurt. I have a headache. Like there's something about this system. I have so much nostalgia for it. I love it. It was my absolute favorite system as a kid, but as an adult, it legit gives me a lingering headache.
Yeah,
it's bizarre.
Well, I think the thing is, it's just things, 3D technology and cameras and everything like that.
Yeah.
Are fixed nowadays and they look good and we've figured out what works. This was them still trying to figure out what worked.
I wonder like what aspect of it is playing on like a HD widescreen TV. Like, is it because you played on a CRT and you had the like scan lines to give you more 3D and like implying more detail than there actually is?
No, I don't think so, because I think I remember a time like getting on a soapbox at my old house like a decade ago about how the N64 didn't hold up. Before I ever had a podcast where I was talking about this stuff, I was like, the N64 is, I'm sorry, but I was like, I think it's probably overrated. People think it's great. They thought it was good back then, and I was like, this thing doesn't hold up. So I've been complaining about retro games for a while. So
yeah.
All right, Jordan, I think we're ready to move on to the rest of our show. So, Jordan, what would you pay for the experience that you had with Cruis'n USA?
Yeah, see, Dan, here's the thing. If I want to play a game like this, I'm probably going to just play the new one. I'm going to play Cruis'n Blast.
Yeah.
And currently they just cut the price in half. It's $20.
Yeah.
It's still too rich for me.
Wow.
Like, I could see me, if I had a bunch of gold points or like a gift card, grabbing it at like $9.
Yeah.
But like probably not actually buying it, just was straight up unless it was like $5.
Okay.
So for Cruis'n USA, it was a fun little trip down memory lane, but like I would have no desire to own this game.
So at the Salvation Army, you see it and you're just leaving it.
$1.
$1. There it is.
But like not to have, like to give to somebody as a prank.
To give to your brothers. Be like, hey guys, look what I found.
No, they wouldn't appreciate it. I'd have to, like maybe it's like a white elephant gift.
Yeah. All right. I checked in with my gut a little before we came up here to record. It was telling me $6, but now I'm wondering if that's accurate or not. But
yeah, you had a miserable time.
I did have.
I
had a miserable time in multiplayer.
We had fun. We had a good time. We were laughing and yelling. And stuff. But I mean, like, I don't think either of us is like, let's go do more of that.
I was having a good time with it before you got here in single player because it was just like the novelty of it, the bad music, I was laughing at the game, kind of like, oh, this is an enjoyable, simple, terrible like experience. Like it's a B movie.
Yes, so I was just thinking. So there's movies that are so bad that they're good, right?
Yeah.
But like to be so bad it's good, it still has to be watchable. There's lots of movies that are really, really, really bad and they're unwatchable.
Right.
It has to be so bad that it's good and be watchable. This is a game that's so bad that it's good and it's playable.
Yeah.
Like kind of. So like there's lots of games that are just really bad and unplayable, but this game is bad and playable and it's so bad that it's funny. So like it does have like some sort of like allure to it. I just don't know what it is. It's hard to put into words, which is why I only had 2 points for what it does well.
The allure is the arcade game is great. The N64 port is not the arcade game might be garbage. I haven't played it in a very long time.
We got to go to Red Robin. We got to go dig that thing out, man.
I think the general consensus, even at the time with critics, was the game was, according to all the facts that we found on Wikipedia, I think the critics didn't have great things to say.
No, it does not have great review numbers if you just Google this name. It's not great.
Yeah. However, the way to go with this one, just get Cruis'n World instead if you're looking for an N64 cruising game. Was Cruis'n Exotica on N64, or did that transcend?
I have no idea, man.
I feel like I
thought it ended with World. I didn't know there was all these other ones.
Yeah, I mean, but I can't speak for that game. So the advice here, if you want some cruising that's like enjoyable, Cruis'n World.
Cruis'n World, if you want the retro one. If you're interested in the new one, I mean, Cruis'n Blast is a good time. If you don't have a problem dropping $20 on a game, I had a good time with it at the arcade. It's me. I don't drop a lot of money on anything.
Yeah. Jordan, what do you think the internet is paying for Cruis'n USA?
Man, are there people that are just like, I guess like it was a part of a lot of our childhood, so maybe people just want to grab it. I would say like a year ago, I would be saying like $10, but I know everything's just gone insane over the last year and a half. So maybe like $15 now.
Oh, well, you're kind of there. This one for $12 to $13, depending on if you get the player's choice version or the non-player's choice version.
Yeah, that sounds right. I mean, it's not crazy if you're like really desperate to add this to your collection. At least you're only out $13.
What do you think the PAL version is going for?
PAL version. I'm going to say they like racing. They like racing in the PAL region. So I'm going to say $18.
That one's going for $19. So that's
there you
a great
go.
Guess.
Yeah.
Great guess, Jordan.
I told you they like racing.
Yeah.
PAL tax.
PAL tax. Yeah, even at 12 or 13, I got to say worthless.
Yeah, we did actually, Dan, we had a request. Somebody asked, one of our friends from Canada asked if we could also include Canadian prices. And I think that it's probably the same as the American price, just to do the conversion rate to Canadian money.
Yeah, so the thing about that is we just go on PriceCharting.com.
Yeah.
And so I think that pulls like eBay mostly. So
No. So
I don't know if eBay Canada is like its own thing.
It is, yeah.
That factors into it, or
you have the conversion rate. It just transfers it from U.S. dollars to like how many flannel shirts and jugs of maple syrup is it? And so I think this one is like 2 jugs of maple syrup.
Jordan,
I'm just kidding.
That's not very nice.
No, I love it. We have the great distinction of living in the only major city in North America that is directly north of Canada. Detroit is directly north of Windsor, Canada.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, to just put a bow on all of that, we don't have easy access to Canadian prices. It's just not on price charting. So
no, I mean,
that's what I do to get the prices.
Yeah,
for
you
the
take
show,
the
Jordan.
American price and then just convert
Jordan,
it to Canadian. I'm being serious, Dan. There is the Canadian dollar. You just convert it to the Canadian dollar. And have you ever smelled Canadian money?
Can't say that I have.
Oh my goodness. You get fresh Canadian money and it smells like maple syrup. Like they actually like infuse it with the smell of maple syrup. You're shaking your head like I'm making it up. And this is one of those times we mentioned this in the previous episode.
This might be one of those times.
This is one of those times when I'm telling you something that sounds fake, but it's actually true. It's amazing. And their money is plastic, which is also kind of cool.
Anyways, to sort of crash this plane again.
Yeah.
The moral of the story with Cruis'n USA is if you're looking for retro Cruis'n USA, get Cruis'n World. It's going for like $20 right now.
There you go. That's a great moral of the story.
I don't know if it's worth $20, but it sure seemed like it might be. If it stayed as enjoyable, but then again, it might have been like swinging a bat with a donut on it. After we swung Cruis'n USA to be so poor. And Cruis'n World was so much better than Cruis'n USA. I don't know if Cruis'n World just felt better by comparison, or
so if you're paying $20, get Cruis'n Blast, the new one, same price, and it's modern game.
What if I don't have a Switch?
You do. I mean, there's everyone. We're at 7.5 billion Switches sold. The new numbers just came out last week, so everyone's got one.
Didn't we have trivia today?
We do. And I told you earlier that I thought you ruined one of them, but you only eliminated one of the answers. So I actually have 2 trivia questions.
Well.
And we'll just go through them and we'll see. Dan, remember, don't answer super quickly because we want to give the audience a chance to answer. They can yell at the answer in their car.
See, Jordan, this used to be Stump Dan, so that's why.
Yeah.
But now it's over the last few episodes, you've like been acknowledging the audience playing along, and I was like, that's a great idea.
Yeah, but this.
So
I mean,
I'm gonna let it go.
When we stump Dan every time, it's just like maybe we should let some other people play too.
Well, maybe if we play fair and actually play by the rules.
I've been playing fair recently. We haven't been doing any wonky ones. All right, here we go.
Just kidding.
Ever the family-friendly company, Nintendo's port censored some things that were found in Cruis'n USA's arcade version. Which of these items was not included in the original arcade version? So
these banana are peel.
These are things that were in the original arcade version, but were not in. Okay, yeah. 3 of these things were in the arcade version. 1 of them was not. Okay. None of these things made it to the N64 version.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay. So A was exploding roadkill, which you already mentioned is not in this game. B, bikini-clad babes partying with the president in the White House jacuzzi. C, Hillary Clinton smoking a huge cigar. Or D, a swastika-laden UFO.
Oh, interesting.
So which one of those things was in the arcade version, but did not make it to the N64 version? The bikini-clad babes partying in the White House jacuzzi with the president, Hillary Clinton smoking a huge cigar, or a swastika-laden UFO?
That's wow. Interesting choices.
Yeah.
What could it have been? I feel like Hillary...
2 of those 3 were in the game.
Which is,
you're trying to figure out which one I made up.
Kind of insane to me. The first one sounds feasible. Hillary Clinton sounds like you could probably get in trouble if you didn't get permission for that.
Bill Clinton in a jacuzzi with bikini babes is okay, but Hillary smoking
You
a
said
cigar?
the president, so that could have been a...
Who was the president?
It could have been a generic, like, it's the White House, so that's what I assumed.
Specifically Bill
Okay, so it's Bill Clinton in the hot tub.
I believe so. He was the president at the time.
You sound like you're a little unsure.
Dan, I don't know.
I think I'm gonna go with that one.
Well, that was in the arcade version. The swastika-laden UFO was not. There's no UFO. Although it seemed like all these arcade games did usually have a UFO. Okay. And I just spiced it up a little bit.
Oh, so Hillary was actually in the arcade
Hillary
version.
with the cigar was in there.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, here we go. Second question. When entering player initials after obtaining a high score, you can control the conveyor belt that the license plate comes in on. If you hold left for about a minute, you will trigger a hidden feature.
Whoa.
Yeah, so when you're on that high score screen, you can control the conveyor belt. And I remember doing that as a kid, like making it roll left and right. I didn't know if you hold it left for about a minute, it triggers something special. Which one of these 4 options happens if you hold left for a minute, okay? One of them actually happens.
Okay.
Was it A, a head travels down the conveyor belt? B, the screen catches on fire and all the previous high scores are erased? C, the theme song from Rocko's Modern Life plays? Or D, Bigfoot runs by holding a banner for Cruis'n World?
Now, okay. I don't think... Okay, Cruis'n World, not even made by the same developer as this one, if I'm not mistaken.
But the arcade game would have been out by the time this came out on N64.
Okay.
I should stop giving you hints.
The hints are fun, though.
Okay.
The hints are fun. Now, Rocko's Modern Life, that seems risky.
Yeah?
It seems very risky.
It's a little Easter egg.
It could be an Easter egg, but that seems like an Easter egg that could get you sued.
Yeah.
So that seems like a really bad idea for an Easter egg.
All right.
The everything going up in flames and it erasing the high scores sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting, but it sounds a bit too much, too excessive to try to wipe the high scores.
Okay.
I don't think that that's a thing. The head doesn't sound very Nintendo, but the fact that you have to hold the left shoulder button for like a minute means that Nintendo probably missed that.
Oh, you don't think that they actually checked it out. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know how much they would have like exhaustively play tested that much. So it's not Rocco, and I don't think it's the high scores. The Bigfoot running by sounds like it's feasible, but I want to say it's the head. I want to say it's the head.
Yes, you got it. It's the head. It travels by. It says, "I love this job."
Yeah.
And it also is connected to some of the cheat codes. You have to do that to unlock some of the special stuff in the game.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So there you go. Yeah.
I see you.
You got one. You missed one. I hope you at home got one or missed one or missed them both. Who knows?
You hope they missed them both?
Well, I mean, I made the trivia. I want it to be difficult. I want it to be fair but difficult, you know.
Jordan, we got a bounty winner from January Arcaduary.
Our January Arcaduary. What was the prize we were giving away, Dan?
$20 in credit. Not last time
I know.
you were frustratingly trying to say that we were giving away something that we're not. It was $20 in credit towards the North American eShop, Xbox, Microsoft store thingy, and PlayStation store.
There you go.
One of the major consoles.
Also, didn't you say...
That's this month.
Oh, okay. All right,
we added Steam to the mix this month. This month we have the same prizes.
Same prizes.
But we added Steam into the mix as well.
Just every month we're going to add one more.
No, stop it.
All right. So our winner from January, if you've listened through all of that, you are the winner, Trash Turkey.
Trash
Turkey. We asked, what was a game that didn't get, what was an arcade game that didn't get a console port? And he said, the game Ninja Baseball Batman. Never got a port as far as I'm aware. It's a crazy baseball-based beat 'em up. That is a mouthful. I have seen clips of Ninja Baseball Batman. I remember you telling me about Ninja
this
Baseball Batman.
This game looks awesome. Yeah.
It's a beat 'em up game.
Yes, a beat them up.
You are
you're like a robot.
Ninja baseball.
Yeah, the funny thing about this game is Ninja Baseball Batman, but it's not. You're not Batman. You're a
good point.
Batman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. You're not Batman. You're just a baseball Batman.
Yeah. Wow. So it's funny. Like some person who like owns this franchise like has the rights to everything except for the video game.
Oh no.
And then the company that has the rights to the arcade game doesn't care about it or something. So they've never bothered to like port it or re-release it.
But they care enough to not sell it back to the guy, apparently.
Well, I think it literally sold like an obscenely small number of arcade cabinets in the U.S. to the tune of like less than a dozen, I think.
It kind of seems like it was like a Japanese thing.
It was big in Japan, but in the U.S., I think it completely bombed.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. Maybe they're like, nobody cares, but it's like, people care. This game is like a cult following now. So, yeah, congratulations, Trash Turkey.
Trash Turkey. I love that name.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. It's I think it's a Castlevania reference.
Oh, maybe.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. If you are like, man, I wish that I won, well, don't worry. It's a new month. It's February, and you have till the end of this month to submit a bounty for...
Arcaduary.
No.
Fear Brewery.
I don't think we don't even have a theme.
No, it's no theme brewery.
That's right, no theme brewery. We don't have a theme. So we don't have a weird pun. And no, we just don't. So
were you just noping me before I said something?
I was noping you. We are giving away, like Dan said, again, $20 on one of those platforms that was already aforementioned.
A code.
And a code. Yes, they get it. Read the description. I didn't say cash.
Yeah, stop implying it.
Cash. You're going to get $20 worth of rock salt. I'm just kidding. Read the instructions on the show notes. It has all of it. You can go to worthitoworthless.com/bounty just to figure out all of the legal details, if that's your thing, if you're a legal beaver. What
is that what they call them?
Yeah. What do they got to send in this month, Dan?
So in honor of Link's Awakening DX being just a hoot with the puzzles that we had to solve in that game.
A hoot and a half. Oh, it's a hoot because there's an owl.
Yeah, a windfish, actually.
No, the owl comes and he tells you to go places.
The owl is actually the windfish.
Are you...
No.
Okay. What if? It's all a dream. It can do whatever you want it to be.
It all is a dream, right? So to enter this bounty, you gotta let us know, do you like puzzle games? If yes, what's your favorite puzzle game? If no, what game made you hate puzzles?
I love it. That's such a great prompt. All you have to do to enter is send us a direct message on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at WIOW Podcast. You can also send us an email
at worthitorworthlesspodcast@gmail.com.
As always, you can also send Dan or myself a direct message on Discord. Don't forget, by participating in our Discord community, you can earn bonus entries, but you still have to submit an official entry by sending us a DM on one of those places that we mentioned, and you could win yourself $20 to buy some games. What else? Is there anything else?
What else? When you submit your entry,
yes, that was it. That was
let us know what platform you would like so we can get that price to you a little quicker.
Some people have been doing a good job about that. Some people not so good. But if you want to get your price quicker, let us know which platform you are gunning for, and it will help us out.
Not so good as us because we don't articulate it well enough, and we ramble for like 16 hours on a bounty segment.
It's good. It's fun. It's good. It's
and you're like $20, 20. I'm like, no, it's not 20. It is.
Listen, we're gonna take $20 and we're gonna buy $20 worth of NFTs, and you just get whatever we pick.
Well, this is a great time to announce our new initiative, Jordan.
Oh yeah,
worth it or worthless NFTs.
Unfortunately, they're all worthless. There aren't any that are worth it. But please,
listen,
just give us money, and you send me money and just write NFT on it, and I'll draw you a sketch of anything you want.
We're selling clips of the show in NFT form for starting at $100,000.
Okay, sounds good.
No,
I'm in. Yeah, we're doing it.
What if, man?
Contact us if you're interested.
What if?
I think that's it. I think that's all I got.
You think that's all you got? Next month, we mentioned earlier, Super Mario Brothers. It's coming back. We're covering Mario 3.
There it is.
It's a big one. We did Super Mario World last Super Mario. So this Super Mario, we're doing Mario 3, and we're gonna have a time.
It's one of those crazy months where there will be 3 episodes.
3 episodes. I'm so glad that because we get.
But you're gonna knock out a lot of Mario games. That's gonna hurt us for future Super Marios.
No. Here's the thing: we got Mario 3 lined up. We got Super Mario Strikers lined up.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
And then the Patreon poll is going to determine the third Mario.
Yes.
game.
If you are a Patreon supporter or interested in becoming a Patreon supporter,
Thank you.
Please make the right choice. Please make the right choice. There's really only one correct choice in the poll, so help us out. Help me out.
Mario Golf Toadstool Tour.
Seriously, if you guys pick Mario Golf, I'm done. I'm done with this podcast.
Jordan
we did
Mario Golf is a great game.
There's no chance that we are gonna. We should cover another Mario Golf game before Mario Kart 64. I'm sorry, I refuse. I will sign up for multiple Patreon accounts just to stuff the ballot box.
No, you won't.
I might.
I will know. I will report you to Patreon.
Report me for giving you money.
Yeah.
Bet.
I've been doing this podcast with you for 3.5 years. There's no way you're wasting money on fake accounts.
No, I truly don't think that I shouldn't make a big deal about it because people are going to vote for it out of spite. Please don't do that. I just don't think I can handle another Mario Golf game. Like,
it's so good.
Boring concept for a video game.
Mario Golf is
it doesn't
fantastic.
help that like you're good at it either, and so I have to sit there and like not only am I not having fun, not only am I not having fun, but I'm sitting there losing to you.
Get it all out. All right, let's talk about what this is really about.
That's fine. All right, there you go. That's next month, Mario. Please make good choices.
Please make good choices.
Not just with Patreon polls, but just in general. The world has enough people doing dumb stuff. If just our listener base started making good choices, we'd be off to a good start.
During the last little bit, we got stickers. The infamous, famous Worth It or Worthless stickers are officially on our merch shop. So if you go to worthitoworthless.com/shop, that'll take you to our merch store where you can look at mugs and shirts and stickers and coasters and stuff like that. So new stuff, trying to get some new stuff in the works, but we got some stuff now if you're interested.
Check it out. Yep. If you don't just want Worth It or Worthless in your ears and you want us all over your house, well, this is the way to do it.
Put a sticker on your sweatshirt.
Put a sticker on your face.
That
First person to get a tattoo with our logo.
No.
Don't
finish.
Sticker.
No.
It's a free sticker.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can get a free sticker if you get a tattoo of our logo.
Nope.
Yeah. I will send. Dan has no say in it. I will send it to you. Just send me your address and a picture of the tattoo.
No. We're not encouraging people to get tattoos, Jordan.
Why?
On their faces.
You have not on their face.
Isn't that what you said?
Anywhere, Dan. Not anywhere. Somewhere appropriate. I did not say on your face.
I'm not supporting this. You're not getting us in trouble with some person getting a tattoo on their eyelids of a Worth It or Worthless logo.
No. Okay. All right. Go back to what I said before. Make good choices.
If you're of legal age and you get a Worth It or Worthless tattoo. Yeah. Jordan will send you a sticker.
I will. That's fine. I'll do it.
All right. I think that's going to wrap it up for today.
I think so too. Thanks for Cruis'n USA with us today, Rowan.
Yeah. Thanks for killing the music segment, Jordan.
Oh my goodness.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, we'd greatly appreciate it if you left us a rating or review wherever you're listening, and if you shared the show with other retro gaming fans in your life. If you're looking for more retro gaming content, check out worthitoworthless.com, where you can find things like reviews, guides, game recommendations, and of course, all of our relevant links. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks.